everyone. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Today is the day. Welcome to Keto-ize my recipe. My name is Karen, and today we're looking at pierogi. I can't wait. This is going to be so much fun. Well, fun for me anyway. Every year around this time at Christmas, I make the traditional pierogi. And our pierogies consist of a farmer's cheese filling. So, if you are not familiar with pierogi, or if you've had the frozen kind, like Mrs. T's, bless your heart. If you haven't had a homemade pierogi, you're missing out. I'm telling you, Mrs. T's, she's trying, but there's nothing like a homemade pierogi. I'm telling you. So, depending on who you talk to, I suppose your filling could be quite different. My family, way back when I was growing up, we would have this farmer's cheese version that I'm going to show you today, um, as well as a cabbage, mushroom, onion type of mixture filling. And then you'll hear of, if you haven't already, and maybe the most popular is like a mashed potato type of filling. Believe it or not, I am a fan of mashed potatoes, but that is not my favorite pierogi. My favorite all-time pierogi is the farmer's cheese, and that's what we're going to look at today. I can't wait. Okay, guys, so there are two parts to making a pierogi. One is the dough, and one is the filling. So the dough really is not so hard. It's just a little bit time consuming. We've got flour, sour cream, eggs, water, and salt. Um, Here's the thing. So back in the day, oh gosh, I would even say 5, 10, 15 years ago. I don't even know anymore. Time goes by so fast. But the dough is different. There was something different about the dough from our original family recipe than it is today. And it wasn't until maybe, let's just say 15 years ago, it could have been more, I don't even know. But the sour cream actually came into play. And most recently, I would say within the last year or two, there was a different um, mixture with the eggs and the water. So for us, as our family tradition, we would take the flour and make a little hole in the middle of the bowl with the flour, like a well, and then put the eggs in there and the sour cream, and then would mix everything up. But then we found the Polish chef, and you'll find him on YouTube. What a great guy. Oh my gosh, he's so much fun to watch. But in his pierogi recipe, which I have the link here and I'll put it on the description below, but he said to whisk the eggs with water. And so I tried that last year, and that is really a game changer. I couldn't believe it. The dough itself is really sticky. It's going to be sticky. And it still will be sticky using this method. However, the dough seems to be more pliable, more easier to work with. Maybe just a tad bit less sticky than normal. Whisking the eggs with the water before you put it in the flour, I gotta tell you, it's a game changer. So just a little tip if you're gonna make this. So anyway, you mix it all together. You're gonna combine it all. You're gonna use your hands. You're gonna get dirty and deep and knead this dough, and you're gonna knead it for a while. And then you're gonna put it in some saran wrap and let it rest for about 10 minutes. And then while that's resting, you'll make the filling. So let's look at the fillings. So again, I said we use farmer's cheese in my house. Others may use other fillings. We love the farmer's cheese version. So it's hard to find the farmer's cheese in like the cheese section or the case. So I usually have to go to the deli and ask for the farmer's cheese. And normally I would ask for a block like a pound or two, depending on how much I'm making. And sometimes they'll give it to me in thin slices. And this time they gave it to me in thin slices. And I got to tell you, that's probably another game changer. I probably should have done the slices um, for a long time, because one of the things that is different between years ago and now is that now I have a food processor, where before we would have to grate the cheese and grate the onion, get our knuckles bloody. I mean, the blood the blood in that mixture made the taste. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. Um, but it could definitely have bruised your knuckles back then if you were grating this cheese and the onion. And today we have food processors and other technology. And my husband actually had the idea of using the food processor years ago. So whether it's a block of cheese that you're going to cut up into small chunks or using slices, it doesn't matter. Today, the deli actually put or gave me slices, and it actually made it easier. So if you can imagine your food processor with a bunch of chunks of cheese in it, it's a little bit hard on the machinery. And using the slices, which was a lot easier, and it literally only took me maybe, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes to get everything pulsed, and then I put it on low to get everything all mixed in pretty well. So that is super, super cool. So the food processor, I would say, number one, use it if you're going to make this homemade. All right, so to prepare it, again, if you've never made it, you're going to roll out the dough. You're going to use a glass, like a drinking glass, or some other circular container. For me, I've had this Tupperware container for years. It probably was something my mom had back in the 70s. I don't even know, but it's very tall, so I'm sure it probably held flour or sugar or something like that in the day. So it's about maybe 3 inches wide in circumference, I think. Um, but I use that to cut my circles. So I roll out the dough with a rolling pin. I get it as thin as I can, but not too thin. You don't want it too thin, because then it'll break apart when you boil it or fry it. So you just need it just right, and it takes a while to get to that just right. The very first time that I ever make it, every year, my very first batch is always too thick. And then my second batch is too thin. And then my third batch is perfect, and my fourth is perfect. So you just got to play with the dough a little bit. But anyway, this container that I use makes the perfect round circles, the perfect size. The pierogi at the end, after you fill it, will fit in the palm of your hand. So it should be from the palm to your fingertips, is how wide my pierogis are. Now, if you've ever had the frozen version, those probably come out more like a ravioli type, so very small. I like my pierogi very big. So anyway, that's the difference. You can use whatever size that you like, but that's just what I do. So once you do that, you get your circles made. You fill it with the dough, and then you pinch it with your fingers. Or you can use a fork or something else. But, the old fashioned Polish way, just use your fingers and pinch everything together, make a seam. You're going to boil it in some water. And I always like to use a couple of chicken bouillon cubes in my water. It gives it just an extra zap of flavor. And then once they are done in the water, you'll see it, because they will rise and they'll float at the top. And that's when you know that they're done boiling. So you put that to the side and let it dry or pat it dry. And then you will fry it in some butter. And that is really the end of it. So it is not hard, but it is time consuming, especially if you're making 4 batches. But today I did not make 4 batches. I only made actually half a batch of each of the versions I'm going to make. So let's look at the macros here. So the original version comes out to 17 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fat, 9 grams of protein, 1 gram of fiber, 157 calories for one pierogi. If you switch out regular all-purpose flour with Carb Quick, and if you've seen my other videos before, Carb Quick is my go-to flour substitute. It is like a Bisquick base. Now, you could probably use almond flour or something else, but again, I can't use almond flour or any tree nut based ingredient because I've got some tree nut allergies in my family, so I have to be a little bit more careful. So Carb Quick is my go-to. Sunflower and coconut flour, both of these, when I calculated them, came out to the same exact macro. So you'll see that there in that third column. And then I have this cheese dough, which I'm going to get into a little more in more detail. But on mincerepublic.com, there is an empanada recipe that I used maybe a year or so ago. And that recipe is more of the ground beef, tomato, onion, tomato paste type of filling. But when I made it, I was like, wow, I wonder if this would work for pierogi. All right, so let's take a look at the cheese dough a little bit more, just so you can get an idea of what this is. So this is mozzarella cheese, cream cheese, an egg, and some Carb Quick. I think the original recipe may have called for almond flour. I can't recall. But if you go to mincerepublic.com, you'll be able to find it. I'll post that link below as well. But super easy to make. You melt the cheese and you stir the egg and the Carb Quick in. And just more of an FYI, if you were to make this dough, the cheese gets hot. So you might have to let it cool just a little bit, unless you are like me and don't mind the hotness. Then you can kind of mix everything together with your hands. But you're going to need to use your hands to do this. And it will make a really great dough as long as you can knead it and work with it with your hands. So the other thing I wanted to just mention is that with your traditional pierogi, again, you boil it and you fry it. If you're going to use the cheese dough, you don't do those two parts. You will just bake it. So that is the biggest difference. Now, I could have tried to boil it and fry it. I was afraid to do that because cheese melts, obviously. I wasn't sure how the cheese dough would do in a boiling pot of water, so I was a little bit afraid to do that. So I went with the original recipe of the empanada and just took the baking part at 425 there for about 12 minutes. Using the same filling, the same farmer's cheese filling, but instead of boiling it and frying it, I baked it. All right. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what our taste testers think. I've got 3 versions. One's the original. 2 are keto friendly. All of my family has decided to participate in this taste testing experiment, but not all of them wanted their faces shown. So bear with me here as I flip this camera over and we see what the taste testers think of all these versions. Okay, hold on.
Like a lot of pierogies?
You should. Because guess what?
Pierogies?
We have pierogies.
Pierogies.
We have 3 different kinds.
Why are you rolling your arms?
3 different kinds. And you don't know which is which.
You can't see your face.
I can tell which one is which.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Think so? Look, she took a bite out of mine.
They're falling apart.
I can tell that's not the real one.
You can. Because they're falling apart.
Yeah.
Tastes like.
Shut up. Here's one.
Yeah, that's the real one.
Here's number 2. Not to be confused with your bathroom number 2.
Boop.
No poops for you.
She said it. Duty.
And then.
Duty.
Oh wow. They got really
We got a little more
Toasted.
brown.
Toast pierogies.
Toasty.
Tostitos pierogies.
Oh,
hey. That one's mine.
I tried to warm them up. Apparently it didn't work.
Oh well. Guess he's taking my place now.
Get me some.
All right, you guys.
Gosh, there's still
Let me look at your faces.
Where?
You idiot!
Where are you? People, come to the camera.
There's not that kind of film.
Well, we can't have them in these.
Alex, take your plate. You can go
Am I
behind
allowed
Daddy
to
if you want.
eat?
Yes, eat. Eat and tell me which one you like the best.
I like how Mom gave us a fork and we're not even. Okay, never mind.
Oh, is that what that's for? Oh.
You are the photographer. You should be used to the camera.
No,
This is not
I'm on the
what
other
your stuff
side.
is.
I know.
That's the whole reason.
I'm aware.
Nom, nom,
Who likes pierogi? Joshua.
I need water.
I need help.
You know which one I like the best? The real one.
They're all real. They're all right
What
there.
the? Not that water. Give me
Water
my
is-
pretentious water.
I'm just gonna mix it.
Pinky's out.
What'd you say?
Pinky's out.
He's out.
Got you.
Because
Pretentious
you're
water.
fancy.
Why you gotta be so posh?
Does it give you heartburn?
What rules did I?
Tastes like an egg.
What did you say?
So number 2 tastes like an egg.
Number 2 tastes like
You're
an
an egg.
egg.
Dude, that's the real one.
Is that the real one?
Yeah.
Because it looks very real.
We all know which one's the real one here.
No.
You know?
Sad.
Okay. I'm gonna have
So
to say number
disappointed
2's
in you.
favorite.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Dad just likes them all. Do you have a favorite though?
The real one.
The real one? Zach?
I like the that one.
This one?
It's good.
That's Carb Quick. Which one do you like the best, Alex? This one? The real one? Josh?
I already said the real one.
Sam?
You know my answer.
Oh, this
You still have the real one?
this baked one here is pretty darn good.
It'd go real well for the Klatschkis.
This one?
Did you just
Just add the sour
from
cream.
the top?
That might be too thick for Klatschkis, but
Absolutely.
all right. So this one was Carb Quick. It's a little thick, don't you think?
Shower.
You guys say that's too thick. The Carb Quick one, the
I
first
think
one.
it's fine.
You have to really thin the dough when you cut it.
Second one obviously is the original one. The third one is for I'm not gonna say it right. Say it for me.
No.
Say it for me.
No. What's it called, dear?
Empanada.
There you go.
What did she call it before?
Empalada. It sounds like some sort of cousin to a llama.
So this is a cheese dough. The
No, but no.
enchilada is.
No.
Empanada.
Dang it! I did it again.
You were so close.
Empanada. This is cheese dough. And no, you don't know what this is because this was low carb, keto friendly, which is all cheese
Well, I know what an actual empanada tastes like.
and baked.
I like
Not
that one
fried.
and that one.
You like this too?
That one and that one. I like that one obviously
one?
because that's the real one.
Yeah.
Now that I figured it out, but I like both of these.
Do you like all of them?
Yes.
Which
So
is-
yeah, there's no bad choices here.
There is no worst.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
A here was carb quick, just switching up the flour with carb quick.
I would definitely say thinning the dough would help it.
Yeah, that was a little hard to thin out the dough on that one, let me tell you.
I imagine.
And then this one is the regular one, which, funny enough, so making the original one, I cut the recipe in half, and it didn't turn out like it normally does.
Huh.
The carb quick one actually turned out more like I'm used to, like the stickiness, and then the cheese dough is just a totally different.
We're gonna have
Different thing altogether.
crazy.
But anyway, they all like them all.
Yay.
Does anybody have a favorite? The original.
Original.
Yeah.
I am now straight with the camera.
Sorry. Boop. Is that better?
There we go.
All right. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So you never know what you're going to get with my family, but it sounds like everybody was pretty chill with all of them. I got to say, if you want something new, a little bit different, the empanada, I said it right this time, the empanada version is pretty good. I actually enjoy that very much. So, the original always is going to be a favorite. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something new. I learned a lot during this process. And as you work with the dough, you're going to learn a lot too. It's just different working with dough. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.